So the Minnesota Timberwolves are winners of 3 games in a row, and I think the Timberwolves, like we said, they might be better without Karl Anthony Towns. Okay, and this is a team that through December, what have we seen, ladies and gentlemen? What we have seen right now is first off, in these games, you got D'Angelo Russell as the leading scorer, dropping 24 a night, dishing out 5 assists. Okay, then you got Anthony Edwards. Guess what? He's averaging for the month of December 3 steals a night, 6 assists, being our lead facilitator, 7 rebounds, 24 points. Then Rudy Gobert, oh, no cat, no problem. I'm going to learn how to score. 16 points a night, 13.5 rebounds, a block and a steal and a half a night. Then Naz Reid looking like Montrezl Harrell on steroids, 14.5 points, 8 rebounds, a steal and a block a night. Then Jalen Noel continuing his 6 Man of the Year campaign, 13.5 points. Jaden McDaniels, 10. Kyle Anderson, 9. And the Austin Rivers dropping 7. And Nathan Knight showing up and making an impact with 7 tonight as well. What do you think of these T-Wolves on a run, playing defense, being gritty, being undersized a little bit, and beating teams with their length and their grit and their D?
I said this all off season how underrated Naz Reid was. I don't get why. It's so actually obviously clear, and we talked about this right when it happened, and even leading up to it. It's so obviously clear this is Anthony Edwards' team. I don't know. Karl Anthony Towns, I have so many. First off, the issue is with me that he's averaging like 4 or 5 less points than he has in the last several seasons. So his trade value probably isn't as high as you would want it to be, but I would trade Karl Anthony Towns immediately. I'm not necessarily sold on Rudy Gobert as a basketball player on a championship team, but I think he's exponentially better than Cat. I think Cat is extremely soft. I don't view Cat as anything more than maybe a third option. I think he's had his fun in Minnesota, and you can tell with the body language, especially on the win sheet, how much better they are without him. So I think Cat just kind of, and I actually think it might have been a blessing in disguise his injury, because it's like, all right, yeah, Rudy Gobert makes us better on the defensive end than Cat. We don't really need the scoring more than Cat, so let's trade him for a king's ransom. Because they have plenty of nice players. You know, McDaniels, the guys you were mentioning, Jalen Noel is really cool. You know, D'Lo has been having so much. He's been so much better with that Cat. Like, it's crazy. So it's Ant's team building around him.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's interesting as all hell seeing how this is all playing out. And definitely with the fact that we made the joke that what if Tim Conley this whole time was just like, I'll figure out a way for the fan base to turn on Karl Anthony Towns. We're going to trade Karl Anthony Towns. And he's like, we're going to run Karl Anthony Towns to the ground. Okay, either we're going to make him look bad or he's going to get hurt, and we're going to make sure that when he's hurt, we're going to get better. And guess what? When he got hurt, they might have gotten better. They might have started to figure out how to play better. And I'm not saying trade Karl Anthony Towns, but if someone came across and offered us a bunch of defensive players and shooters for Karl Anthony Towns, like what if the Wizards,
Kuzma,
yes,
Danny Advida.
What I was about to say, no. What if the Wizards are like, we kind of want to put Kristaps and Karl Anthony Towns together?
Ew.
What if we
I
send
want KP?
And no,
don't say the name Bradley Beal in the next sentence. Please don't.
Guess who Tim Conley drafted? Will Barton.
Okay, all right.
What if he's hitting them up and he's like, I'll take Will Barton off your hands. I'll take Rui. I'll take Kyle Kuzma. Okay, Will Barton, Kyle Kuzma, that's $27 million. You throw in Rui, I think that's 33. And I think you get a deal done, Karl Anthony Towns, for like, I don't know if I want Rui. Maybe send me Denny. Nah, the Wizards need point guards, so they're not gonna. They need Monte Morris.
The Washington Wizards need every single possible thing just to fill you in on.
I'm a Wizards and a Timberwolves fan, so I'm trying to give my teams a fair trade. Okay, so
Kuzma's already walking, so
yeah, I'm telling you, Kuzma, Will Barton, and send me Denny Avdia, okay, and we'll send you Karl Anthony Towns and a pick. Well, we don't have picks, so.
But I'll also take Delon Wright, so you don't even need to give me a pick. I'll take Delon Wright.
So. You're giving up too many assets if you're the Wizards.
Well, the issue with the Washington Wizards is they suck. So I don't know
All
if they
right,
have.
here I'll
too
give you
much
Jordan
more.
McLaughlin and Karl Anthony Towns, and I'll throw in Wendell Moore. Okay,
Awesome.
and you'll send me Kyle Kuzma,
What does Wendell Moore give you?
DeLon Wright, Denny Avdia, and Will Barton. Wendell Moore gives you another wing player who's young. You get yourself Jordan McLaughlin as a backup point guard, and you get yourself Karl Anthony Towns.
Why am I even saying Delon Wright? Oh,
DeLon Wright to the
yeah. I
Timberwolves.
mean,
That's not a bad deal.
I have some faith in Jordan McLaughlin, but I don't know if it's enough.
Is it
I don't-
McLaughlin or McLaughlin?
Oh, I'm not the guy to ask.
I've heard both McLaughlin, or
I
McLaughlin.
will always say McLaughlin.
I say
So
McLaughlin.
It's probably McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. I've heard McLaughlin because there's also a kicker named Robert McLaughlin, I think, in like the NFL, or Chase McLaughlin.
I don't know.
But at this point, yeah, like hopefully like that the Timberwolves are figuring it out. They can bring Karl Anthony Towns in, but I think Karl Anthony Towns definitely is a dark horse candidate to be traded at the deadline. But the Timberwolves are starting to figure it out because they're playing defense. They've got, this two-headed monster in D'Lo and Anthony Edwards, and maybe that's the real thing. D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, and Rudy. That's because think about they have so much more spacing now. That's the big thing. This is all working out because the floor is spaced because there's one big.
I don't know.
And then when Naz Reid comes in,
yeah, I don't know who thought Cat and Rudy Gobert was this.
do you move Karl Anthony Towns to sixth man? So because the reason why Naz Reid is working because Naz Reid comes in when Rudy Gobert comes off the floor, and then Naz Reid can space the floor and do everything that Karl Anthony can do on a fraction of the dollar. So my thing is what if like that's the problem? They can't play together.
That was the solution to this Timberwolves dilemma before they got injured that nobody else was a fan of was you have to bench Rudy Gobert with Karl Anthony Towns, and I'm leaning more towards Karl Anthony Towns. So if you're going to bench Karl Anthony Towns, you might as well trade.
Yeah, I mean, because the thought is if because you can't bench Rudy because he's there because they're so good with him defensively on the floor. But then you're like, why would you want Karl Anthony Towns to be a sixth man? Because he's a scorer. So then you just tell him, here, come off the bench when Rudy needs a breather, and you just tell him to shoot threes and do his thing.
So Cat's this thing that sucks, and it's called a bitch. And
I used to have a Karl Anthony Towns jersey. I used to.
I burned it.
No, I actually sold it for $30, or I exchanged it for an eighth of weed.
That was a smart call.
Either way, it led to an eighth of weed.
He's like a Christian Wood on crack. I just don't know what else he offers me outside of crying. And
that's why I said, Anthony Edwards. When we got Anthony Edwards was the true savior of the franchise. But the fact that D'Angelo Russell's playing so much better without Anthony Towns there, it's because there's space on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying every second of this win streak that the Timberwolves are having. It's because there's space on the floor. And I hate to say it, if this is giving the execs a reason to trade Karl Anthony Towns, then do it. Do it. But I like what we're doing. We're actually starting to look like the team we thought we could be once we traded for Rudy Gobert. And it's because of this guy right here, D'Angelo Russell, fucking looking like the guy that was on the Brooklyn Nets.
He's a stud, yeah.
And
he's a stone cold stud. And he's also a golfer, so he's even more of a stud.
So let's go over here. Supposedly, I don't talk enough about this former KU alumni. And I'm still on the fire Doc Rivers train, but Joel Embiid and the Sixers. James Harden's clearly, old.